Hi, YouTube.
Hey, YouTube. So, this is another Raphael Solis video. And I decided to do this video today because I was on the train earlier this evening. And there's this girl on the train, and her girlfriend was on the train with her, and she was crying. Not her girlfriend, but she was crying. And her girlfriend was comforting her, and I was ear hustling, of course, because I'm a nosy bitch. And she was leaving her boyfriend because he had hit her, or he had hit her before, and he had just hit her again. So she was leaving her boyfriend because I went through a similar situation myself. We call it DaDiva and I call it the Great Escape.
Real lifetime bullshit.
Whatever. So I was on the way home, and I got to thinking about that time period in my life and all the stuff that I was going through. I was dating my ex, and we were living together and going through a lot of stuff. You know, he didn't have a job, and he would do things like I would get paid, and he would take the check and go out partying. And then, then I got the feeling that he was cheating on me. And there was some violent things that had happened and some verbal things that had happened, but it was around the time I just met you.
Just met me.
And she was working, we were both working at the Ritz-Carlton. And one night we got to talking about him, because I was just in a bad place at work. I was not my normal happy-go-lucky self. So we got to talking about him, and she offered me a ride home. And as we were riding to my house, I was emotional. I'm seriously emotional. I was crying like a little girl. I'm always crying like a little girl.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Okay, but anyway, I was crying like a little girl. And we were on the way home, and she was driving me to my apartment. I remember we sat outside my apartment for an hour talking.
Yeah, about an hour.
It was about an hour. We sat outside my apartment about an hour talking, and she convinced me to leave him. So I was going to leave him. So I don't mean to laugh. It's funny now. It wasn't funny then. It was very serious, and I was very upset because I was in love with him. He was the love of my life.
So he thought.
So I thought. So we go upstairs in the apartment, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
It's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're upstairs in my apartment, and we're running around like two women grabbing shit.
I am a woman.
I'm running around like a battered wife. Grabbing
some real lifetime bullshit. Girl, you got the coffee? You got the coffee? Get the coffee pot.
Grabbing random
shit.
I grabbed a blanket that my mother had, baby. I grabbed, wait a minute. Let's talk about the fact this is my apartment. It's in my name. So,
run away from him.
I'm running away from him. From my house.
Run away from his name's on the lease. He running from there.
So, we're running around the
apartment. 1 second,
apartment.
YouTube. Did you catch what I said? He was leaving his house. He was leaving his house, YouTube. Help me understand. I was when I was in the car, I was okay, so we're leaving your house. I just gotta go. I can't stay anymore. You're right. I can't do this. Crazy.
I was very emotional and confused.
But I understand you can't do this so we're not locking him out and chasing the doors. No, YouTube.
It was the middle of the night. Where were we gonna find a locksmith in the middle of the night?
In the morning, it's Atlanta. 2:30, Ray and Pookie them. Somebody had a lock. 2:30 in the morning, Atlanta. In Atlanta, 2:30 in the morning.
So, needless to say, anyway, we get in the car. And we're going to I don't know where we're going. So I decided I'm going to go to my mother's house. Well, my mother at this point in time was living with my aunt in Forest Park, Georgia. And I live downtown in Midtown. So we rode to my mom's house. When I get to my mom's house, she's standing outside on the porch with her hand on her hip, looking a lot like Medea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, what's going on? And I'm crying.
No, Mom was already Savon has called me, we saying names. This bitch went back. Help me understand, YouTube. This is the crap that happens in Lifetime. Is it not? Them Lifetime movies, them girls always go back until somebody end up dead and then or in the hospital or coma. Then they understand, oh, this is not the motherfucker I should be with.
Okay, well, he ended up in the hospital, but I didn't put him there.
That's what he says. This is the story he's sticking
whatever.
to.
So anyway, we're not together anymore. But I stayed in that relationship for at least a year and a half, a year and some months after that incident happened. And a lot more stuff went down.
We ain't gonna talk about it.
We ain't gonna talk about it.
We don't got enough time, YouTube.
We would have to do like
19 videos.
But the reason why I wanted to talk about that was because a lot of times people think that because it's two men in a relationship that abuse doesn't happen between two men. And a lot of people think that, a lot of women think that they're weak because they've been abused or because they've been emotionally abused or physically terrorized by their lover. And it happens to the best of us.
It really does.
To say that you're going to leave and to leave and come back because he apologizes or because he brings you flowers or whatever, for whatever reason, you put yourself in a very vulnerable state because he then thinks that every time he does something wrong, every time he hits you or every time he says something to you that tears down.
I've been in a physically and emotionally abusive relationship.
And my relationship was both physically and emotionally abusive.
Mine was more so emotionally, and when he jumped crazy and put his hands on me, the little terror in my head told me to kill him and run. But I decided to just break out and leave because freedom looks good on me, and I would have had a hard time explaining to the people why
my ex
I killed him.
Oh, wow, crazy shit. And the thing about it is what kills me about abusers is they'll abuse you and then ask you to go and cook them something to eat. They'll ask you to cook them dinner. Or they'll say some old fucked up shit to you.
And then expect you to lay with them.
And then, expect you to lay down with them. Or ask you, oh, wait a minute. Can you suck my dick? You just got through saying some old. But the crazy thing about it is they think that it's perfectly all right. Like my ex did so many different things that were abusive emotionally and mentally, and he still thinks to this day that he did nothing wrong in the relationship. When you see the symptoms of abuse, and there are red flags and warning signs and all sorts of labels.
It really is. Right off glass, honestly, truthfully, you should know, you would know. Truthfully, you don't meet anybody until about the third month of knowing them. Because everybody puts their best foot forward when they meet people. They want you to see all the strengths and none of their weaknesses. So you meet your representative. Their representative, and they show up, and they're there for about 3 months. And then they can't keep the facade up anymore.
Yeah.
That's when you start meeting the real person. If you see that real person and your red flags start going off, don't ignore them because, you cannot trust your heart. Listen to your mind. It's the part that God gave us, the thing that's called logic. He gave that to us.
That little voice inside your head
that
goes
Holy
off
Spirit.
And says, he's crazy as hell. The Holy Spirit cusses. I'm going to be honest with you. The Holy Spirit says things like that. It says he's crazy as hell, and you need to get the hell away from him. Because he's going to send your soul to hell if you stay with him. Because you're going to...
Your life.
Because abusers are crazy. And eventually they snap.
Yeah.
And before you get a chance to snap. And then the next thing you know, you in somebody's hospital or you in somebody's grave somewhere.
When somebody tells you that it's not over until they say it's over, yeah, you might want to let that person go. And make sure you have somebody with you when you do that.
And then invest in some gasoline and some matches.
Don't listen to him.
Gasoline.
He's not sane.
Invest in him.
Get a restraining order.
Look, just don't get caught up in some Lifetime bullshit.
Please. Where's the coffee? Where's the coffee?
Shut the hell up. So anyway, YouTube.
Get the coffee pot.
Anyway, YouTube. You can check me out on Twitter at twitter.com/Raphael Solis or on twitter.com /DaDiva Nick. That's DaDiva Nick. Holla!